So, are you feeling that push and pull? Wanting a proper workspace, but maybe the whole traditional office lease thing feels too binding.
Or maybe working from home is starting to feel a bit, well, samey, maybe a little lonely.
Exactly. It's something a lot of people are grappling with. So, today we're going to take a really close look at an alternative that's picking up serious speed, especially in a place like Hong Kong.
Yeah, we're talking about co-working spaces.
We are, and we're diving deep into this, looking at the good, the bad, the costs, the future, basically giving you a thorough rundown fast.
And our main source for this exploration is an article from moveandstay.com. Now, these guys aren't new to the game.
Oh, yeah.
No, they've been helping business travelers, expats, people needing short-term or flexible places to work or stay in Asia for, wow, over 25 years now.
25 years. Okay, so they really have their finger on the pulse when it comes to this stuff in that region. They've seen the changes.
Precisely. They bring a lot of context, especially about what people moving to or working across Asia actually need.
Got it. So what's their take? What's the big appeal of co-working according to Move and Stay?
Well, they really stress it's more than just renting a desk. It's about um, flexibility and how you pay and use the space.
Okay.
Access to shared stuff like printers and meeting rooms. Big networking potential.
Right, the community aspect.
Exactly. But they also acknowledge the flip side right away.
Mm,
Less privacy potentially because it's often open plan.
that makes sense. So flexibility, amenities, networking, but maybe keep an eye on privacy. We'll definitely unpack all of that.
And from Move Anstay's perspective, having seen so many people set up shop quickly across Asia, this model directly answers that need for, like, an immediate, ready-to-go workspace without that huge lease commitment.
That flexibility point feels really central. Move and Stay mentions you can literally get a pass for a day, a week, a month.
Or even annually.
Right. So it's not just for solo freelancers, startups needing room to grow, or even bigger companies needing project space. It caters to all sorts.
It really taps into this broader trend. MoveStay has probably observed for years businesses wanting agility. They need their workspace to be as adaptable as they are.
And the convenience factor sounds pretty high.
Oh, huge. MoveStay lists all the essentials. Fast internet, desks, chairs, kitchens stocked with coffee.
Meeting rooms, printers.
Yeah, the whole setup. Imagine walking in day one and it's all just there, ready to go.
That saves so much hassle, especially if you're new in town or just starting a business.
Exactly. Move and Stay has likely seen countless clients benefit from just being able to focus on their actual work, not on setting up an office from scratch.
Okay, but beyond the practical stuff, Move and Stay talks about this vibrant ecosystem. What does that actually mean in practice?
It means running into people. Having those spontaneous chats by the coffee machine that might spark an idea or lead to a connection.
Ah, the water cooler effect, but maybe more diverse.
Sort of, yeah, because you've got people from totally different industries bumping shoulders. Move and Stay emphasizes that this cross-pollination, this potential for collaboration is a really big draw.
Especially in a dynamic place like Hong Kong, I imagine.
Absolutely. Those unexpected connections can be gold.
Now, speaking of Hong Kong, Move and Stay points out there's a huge variety of spaces there. It's not all the same.
Not at all. You've got everything from like super sleek, corporate feeling places to more community-focused, almost neighborhoody hubs.
And the design matters too, right? They mentioned innovative designs.
Yeah, they do. Things like living walls, actual plants growing on the walls, or quirky furniture, biophilic design, bringing nature in.
Does that actually help?
Apparently so. Studies suggest natural elements and things like minimalist design can genuinely reduce stress, help you focus better. It's not just aesthetics. It's about creating an environment for better work. Move and Stay also notes some offer-manage office spaces within the co-working setup.
Interesting. And they're not just places to work quietly, are they? Move and Stay mentions events.
Oh yeah, loads of them usually. Workshops, seminars, networking nights, even just social mixers.
So it's actively encouraging you to meet people.
Definitely. It's a core part of the offering for many spaces, helping build that community feel. Move and Stay highlights as so important.
Location, location, location. Especially in Hong Kong, that's gotta be key.
Crucial. Move and Stay stresses thinking about proximity to transport the MTR, the subway system there, is super important.
Right.
And also access to lunch spots, maybe a gym, even some green space nearby. You need to consider your daily routine.
So Move and Stay's advice is basically figure out your priorities.
Pretty much. What's your budget? What's your work style? Need quiet focus or buzzing energy? What do you want to get out of the space besides just a desk?
And maybe try before you buy.
Definitely recommend trying a few day passes if you can. get a feel for the different vibes.
Okay, let's talk money. This is often a big factor. Move and Stay compares co-working with traditional leases, right?
Yes, they lay it out quite clearly.
Yeah.
Looking at things like the monthly rent, sure, but also the big upfront cost deposits, fit-out costs,
Utilities, maintenance.
and that long-term commitment you have with the traditional lease. Co-working usually looks much more appealing upfront because those initial costs are way lower or non-existent.
Which is huge for cash flow, especially for new businesses or people. Move and Stay often assists, like expats setting up.
Absolutely. It frees up capital for other things.
There's always a but, isn't there? Move and Stay warns about potential hidden costs.
Well, maybe additional cost is fair, things that might not be included in the basic membership fee.
Like what?
Using meeting rooms beyond a certain allowance, printing more than your quota, needing parking, bringing in guests. Sometimes even working outside standard hours can incur extra charges.
Ah, okay. So the key is to ask exactly what's included.
Definitely. Move and Stay would surely advise getting clarity on all potential charges up front to avoid surprises. Transparency is vital.
Which leads to the idea of value for money. It's not just the sticker price.
Right. Move and Stay suggests you need to weigh the cost against everything you're getting. Is the location premium? Are the amenities high quality? Is the internet rock solid?
Does the community atmosphere offer real networking benefits for you?
Exactly. How do all those benefits stack up against your specific business needs and budget? Does it save you capital expenditure elsewhere?
Okay, let's shift to productivity. How do these spaces actually help you get work done? Move and Stay mentions designing for focus.
Yeah, many spaces are very conscious of this. They'll often have designated quiet zones.
Like library rules.
Sort of, yeah. Maybe with noise-canceling features, individual booths or pods, places where you can really knuckle down without distractions.
Yeah.
Move and Stay understands that need for deep work.
But work isn't always solo, right? What about collaboration?
They cater for that too. Move and Stay points to dedicated collaborative areas. Think meeting rooms with whiteboards, good video conferencing setups.
Then maybe more casual spots.
Yeah, breakout areas with comfy seating for informal chats, brainstorming sessions, team huddles. It's about providing a spectrum of environments.
A more dynamic setup than just rows of desks.
Much more. And Move and Stay also brings up the inspiring decor. Does that really make a difference?
It sounds a bit fluffy, maybe, but think about it. Artwork, plants, good natural light. It can genuinely affect your mood, your motivation, your energy levels.
I suppose a drab gray office isn't exactly stimulating.
Right, so creating a positive, visually appealing environment matters. Move and Stay also mentions the neighborhood infrastructure playing a role too.
Ah, like the cafes and amenities around the space.
Yeah, contributing to the overall experience.
Makes sense.
Now, for startups and entrepreneurs, Move and Stay seems to think co-working is particularly beneficial for them. A game changer.
It really can be. First off, you get that professional image, a proper business address, without the massive price tag of your own office.
That's a big one early on.
Huge. And then there's the scalability. Move and Stay highlights. Need more desks next month. Usually easy. Team shrinking. Adjust your membership. It's great for managing unpredictable growth and cash flow.
And you get instant access to all those resources we talked about. Internet, printers, meeting rooms.
All that operational stuff is just
Yes.
handled. Which, as Move and Stay knows from helping businesses get started, lets entrepreneurs focus their energy on building the actual business.
They also mentioned mentorship opportunities. How does that work?
It's often informal. Just being around other founders, maybe more experienced business people. You strike up conversations, ask for advice, make connections.
So learning from the hive mind.
Kinda, yeah. Move and Stay sees real value in that supportive, collaborative environment, especially for people navigating the challenges of starting something new.
Okay, but it can't be perfect. Move and Stay addresses the challenges too, right? What's the main one?
Privacy is probably the biggest recurring theme. Those open plan layouts aren't ideal if you're constantly on confidential calls or working with sensitive documents.
Right, you need to be comfortable with a certain level of ambient noise and activity.
Exactly. And Move and Stay would advise checking if they offer private offices or phone booths, if that's a major concern for you.
What about security?
Another valid point Move and Stay raises. You're often on shared Wi-Fi, so data security needs thought. And physically, making sure laptops and belongings are secure, standard precautions, but important in a shared space.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's something a bit more subtle, company culture.
How so?
Well, Move and Stay points out it can be harder to build your own unique team spirit and identity when your team is physically surrounded by lots of other companies.
Ah, You might need to make more deliberate efforts for team bonding.
Precisely. It requires conscious effort to foster that internal culture when you're not in your own exclusive space.
So the takeaway is co-working is great, but it's not a magic bullet for everyone.
Not at all. As Move-In Stay makes clear, you have to weigh the pros and cons based on your specific situation, your team's needs, the nature of your work.
What about the future? Where are things heading according to Move and Stay?
Well, the hybrid model is obviously huge. More people splitting time between home, maybe a central HQ, and flexible spaces like co-working hubs.
And co-working spaces are adapting.
Yeah, Move-In Stay sees them offering even more flexible memberships, team passes for certain days, drop-in packages really catering to that hybrid workforce.
Anything else?
Sustainability is becoming a bigger focus, thankfully. Move-In Stay notes more spaces are using sustainable materials, focusing on energy efficiency, better recycling programs.
That's good to hear. And tech.
Always advancing. Move and Stay mentions things like smart building tech sensors helping manage space usage efficiently, making booking desks or rooms seamless through apps, better integrated hot desking systems, advanced security features. It's all about enhancing the user experience.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, based on the insights from moveandstay.com, co-working in Hong Kong really offers this powerful blend of flexibility and community.
Yeah, in a really dynamic setting. But you do need to be clear-eyed about the costs, potential hidden fees, and the privacy trade-offs.
Right. But for freelancers, for startups, even for larger companies looking for agility, the benefits, like lower upfront costs and networking, can be really substantial.
It truly represents a shift in how we think about the office, reflecting these changing work patterns. Move and Stay has been observing across Asia for decades. More adaptable, more community-focused.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. As work keeps evolving, think about how those core co-working principles, that flexibility, that sense of community, how might they start to influence things beyond just where you work?
Good question.
Could they fundamentally change how we collaborate, how we stay productive, how we connect professionally, even if we're not actually in a co-working space? What lessons can we take from this model for the broader future of work?